All right, guys, new video time here. So, I've taken a couple of videos on the fuel system on the 95 M3, but let me try and condense them. So, lift up your back seat and you've got your fuel pump on this side. A lot of the 96 and 99s, I think all of them, only have this unit over here. There's a secondary unit underneath that seat there, and it's like another sending unit. So you got a pump and another sender. So you lift, this stuff up, and then you've got those underneath there. Make sure you're not leaking any fuel, in there. You got some old connectors, which are a absolute pain to go to Brayman or anywhere and ask for those pins and connectors right there. And most places just forget it. You're just going to have to pull them out and bring it to Brayman and say, let's just find something that works for this connector. So get me some pins and blah, blah, blah. See those two lines right there? Those are brand new. What happened was there was a leak underneath my car on the driver's side, which is where those lines go. So those two lines, by the way, they're 5/16 high pressure, 250 pound pressure, whatever, fuel lines. And just get a few feet of it, and you can run them. So you got to run those two lines underneath the seat. It's kind of a pain, Get a really hard piece of wire and duct tape it, shove it through, snake it through. Hook one up there, and then you bring them down, and they're rubber going down here. And there's three. And I don't know if I can show you. They're like they're like right there. So that's all rubber. And then, leading to those plastic lines, those are all plastic, by the way. They're hard plastic lines. Before that are rubber, 5/16 rubber. So that rubber had severed and it was pouring gasoline out. So that was a little project, good to do. And I got that done. And then now I've, buttoned up the pressure back there. Then about a month later, it starts leaking from underneath there. And underneath here, I don't have the car up because I'm working on the top of the car now. But anyways, you got your hard lines. Got your hard lines that run there. And then you've got 5/16 rubber again. It'll go back to rubber and it goes up to your injectors, in your motor. And then there's two sections. There's one section here, another section here, and then you got your fuel filter right there. And it's tough. You got to get the car up in the air, and you really got to snake your hand up there. So that goes to underneath your throttle body. No, God, it's impossible to show you. They're right in there. But there's two lines that come up, and those are the two lines I was talking about. So they come up there. Those rubber lines then go to hard plastic lines underneath here. And you've got one very small section back here. That's brand new 5/16 that I put on, but it's like only like that long. And it goes from the hard plastic line underneath there up to your fuel rail. And I start leaking fuel so I fix those a month later, start the car, I'm like, all right, it's all dry. Well, start the car and it starts pouring, and I'm underneath the car and it's just pouring all over the oil pan. It's gasoline. I can smell it. I see it. Where the hell? Well, there's no more fuel lines that go anywhere. The only thing it could be is your fuel rail or something going to your fuel rail. So that was it. That was the culprit. Boy, I wish I would have saved that piece of rubber. I think I did. I don't know. Anyways, I think I did somewhere. But it was very hard, and the rubber was incredibly hard and cracked. And it was, where did I put that damn thing? Oh, well, anyways, it had a very small crack in it, and it was very tough to get. So I had to pull off your fuel rail there. So it's not that hard. Once you take this off, and your fuel rail protector and then your valve cover protector, there's just a couple bolts right there. That's all you need to do. You don't need to disconnect the metal fuel rail that has the injectors on there from your electric lines, from your spark plugs, or your coil packs here. You don't need to disconnect these two. You start pulling up on it and there's some resistance because you still got pressure in the lines. Well, I don't have too much pressure because I'm losing it somewhere. So you just get a prying bar or whatever and pry this thing up, and you just make sure you pull these out straight. You got to pull your fuel rail up at that angle that it wants to go. Don't get up here and start cranking it here. You're gonna muddy that up. Make sure you pull it out straight. And you've got these O-rings here and they just pop right out. So once you do that, you've got this, little section here that was an absolute pain to get to. That's not hard. What's hard is getting your hand back underneath here and hooking it up to that hard plastic line. So there's some tricks to take off your windshield wipers there. The manuals, I've got Chilton's and Bentley's, and they don't do a very good job of explaining how you take these arms off. But obviously, take that off, the plastic, and then you've got your arm there, right? So your arm's normally like that. You've got to bend this guy up and then wiggle it off. You can't pull it off like that. It's got these grooves, and boy, if it's seized on there, it's really nasty. The only trick I saw, if you have an arm that's seized on there, you haven't taken the arm off in 25 years, you've got, you're able to take the bolt, the nut off, but the bolt is seized in there. Take another nut, spin it halfway on there, and take a hammer and crack that thing. And while you do that, make sure you support behind this arm so that you're not going to crack your windshield or bang it into your motor. So you got to stick something wooden behind there and support that so that when you bang that nut onto that bolt, you're just putting pressure on the bolt and the nut. So anyways, back to this. So that was nasty, that little section right there. And that was the problem. I looked onto the nipple here, and all of this was all yellow, white, nasty all around here. You looked into there. See if I can get some good lighting in there. Not really. But anyways, that was all white around that last injector. And it was this little piece of 5/16 section that had a crack in it. It was 20 years old probably. And it was hooked up to this fuel rail nipple, and it was just spraying gasoline all over there. So I replaced that section, started up. Guess what? The thing is bone dry. I'm having some hard starts in the morning. First of all, it was a good job to get this thing bone dry. It's not easy to do. So I was very happy with that. The last injector was not harmed, but getting this fuel pressure regulator out of there is nasty. Again, the manuals do not do a good job. Bentley's and Chilton's. Both of them talk about some thing on the side there, some clamp on the side you're supposed to just take off and boom, and suck it out. There's the brand new fuel pressure regulator. Mine, if you looked underneath there, I'm looking around and I don't see anything. Mine had a nice little spring clip there. What the hell do you call that? C-clamp, C spring. God damn it, it's been a while. Anyways, I had to break out the old ones here because I think I had some ones that were around there. Anyways, I bought these crappy Husky ones, and you pull that off, and then you're trying to pull the thing out. Man, it will not come out. Pair of vice grips, and wrap a towel around there and just twist it and rock it, and you got to pull hard, and that thing will finally pop out of there. So got the old one out, got the new one. I was going to replace this vacuum line, so this fuel pressure regulator, this guy here that goes up underneath there like that, obviously. It's fed by a vacuum line right here that goes to your intake manifold. I bought new line, and it's really stuck on that intake manifold really hard. And so all I did was that guy right there, just blow through it. Make sure it's clear. And I did, and it's totally clear. I got plenty of air going through there, so it's not clogged up. So I'm just going to use that again. Put the new one on there. Get that, damn it, what do you call these things? I feel like such an idiot. O-clamp, C-ring, I don't know. O-ring, not an O-ring. Put that back on there, and hopefully that should help. So the issue was, again, it was bone dry, but it would hard start in the morning. It was like it had lost pressure, and it's like, you know, and I'd be turning that starting motor. The starting motor was good. That starting motor was firing nice and crispy. It just took a while to like get the fuel back up there and get the pressure back up there. So hopefully, replacing that fuel pressure regulator, Jesus, I mean, even the name sounds like it should fix the problem. Hopefully that fixes the problem there. And then when I was driving around, if I'd whack on the throttle, it was like kind of stuttering a little bit. It wasn't responding that well. So anyways, I'll hook all this stuff back up, and I'll let you know if it works. Stay tuned.